Today we got a story time with this girl that was complaining that, her math class was unfair even though she just wasn't studying, and it got to the point where her mom got involved and threatened to sue the school. I'm not even kidding. Leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing. And let's call the subscriber who sent in today's story, let's call him Benson. So this all happened one day when Benson was just scrolling on TikTok, and this girl in his class who he didn't even follow popped up on his For You page, and she made a video that basically went along the lines of like, my math class is so unfair. Like, everyone else is doing well and I'm not doing well. However, I'm trying harder than anyone. I think the teacher secretly has something against me. Guys, I don't know what to do. The video got like a couple thousand likes, so it definitely kind of like blew up on a mini scale. But that's the reason why the kid even saw it on his For You page in the first time. And then he decided to go to this girl's account, and he saw like all of these videos, like all posted in the span of like a week, talking about this math class that he had with her. And these videos were saying, like, they were spanning from, like, this teacher, he's failing me in this class because, like, I'm a woman and he doesn't want to see a woman succeed. Or she even said, like, oh, like, my mom probably rejected him in high school and he's taking it out on me. Basically, all of these, like, reasons for why she's failing the class, right? So anyways, Benson's like, damn, all right, like, okay. I guess you're not doing well in my math class then. That kind of sucks. And anyways, next day rolls around and he's at the lunch table and he's talking with his boys, and he pulls out the TikToks. He's like, dude, did you see these? And they're like, no. So he shows them to them and they're all like, wow, like that's kind of crazy. But then one of them said, hey, like, I'm kind of like, I have seen those TikToks before and I'm friends with her friends. And apparently like she has never even studied for a math class once. Boys and girls and everyone else watching this video, bro, let me give you a little piece of advice. If you want to do well, prepare. All right, that's all my advice. That's all I'm going to say. So anyways, right, Benson was like, oh, so she's not studying, and she's like saying that it's like everyone else's fault. Basically, right. Anyways, eventually skip forward to math class of that day. Benson was kind of sitting there, not expecting anything crazy to happen that day, and he'd be wrong. Because that day in math class, Benson was kind of just sitting there trying to pay attention. I mean, the material was hard. I can't really blame this girl for not doing well in it. I've not done well in math classes back in the day. I understand what it's like. But anyways, right, Benson is sitting there trying to like pay attention when, this girl like gets up and she's like, this math class is unfair and I've had enough of it. And the teacher looks at her and says, like, hey, like, it's not unfair. I'm going to need you to sit down and not interrupt the lesson. Kind of a fair response. And the girl's like, I know that you're specifically giving me a worse grade than anyone else because you don't like me specifically. And I don't know why, but I know it's true. And the teacher looks at her and says, I don't look at the names when I grade the papers. Like, I specifically cover up the names to make sure that I have no bias when grading these. And the girl kind of stops for a second because she's like, oh, snap, like maybe it's actually me. Nope, it's not actually her. She's like, no, that's not true, and sits back down and is like very quiet but obviously very angry. So anyways, Benson doesn't think much of it. Until something crazy happens the next day. He comes into class, and the girl, we're just going to call her TikTok girl because she made the videos on TikTok. At this point, TikTok girl is not in class, and Benson's like, oh, is she skipping? Dude, they're in 7th grade. Like, in college, people skip all the time. Hey, man, I've slept through a class or two. But in, like, middle school, you never skip a class. But anyways, Benson was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, she's never, like, no one ever skips classes. I don't know why she's skipping right now. But anyways, right, it's about 5 minutes into class, and the teacher's like, hey, has anyone seen TikTok girl? Said her actual name, but you know what I mean. And everyone's like, no, I don't actually know where she is. So he's like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to mark her as absent. That's kind of weird. I've never had to do this before, but okay. So anyways, right, they're just sitting in class, the teacher's going about the day as usual, when the TikTok girl and the TikTok girl's mom storm into the classroom, and the TikTok girl's mom kind of leads the way and says, like, Mr. We'll say Davenport. Dude, I use that for the last name of every teacher, just deal with it. She's like, Mr. Davenport, I demand that you change my daughter's grade on the recent examination immediately, or I'm going to, like, report it to the principal or the administration that you're discriminating against her for some reason. And the teacher's like, whoa, hello, Mrs. TikTok girl, like, welcome to the class. Like, I didn't know that we had a meeting scheduled. Kind of like a little bit of a light joke. And she's like, I take this very seriously and you're joking around. Like, I know that, like, I don't know why, but for some reason, I know that, like, I know that my daughter did better and you're taking points away from her because you have a grudge against her for some reason. And, Mr. Davenport explains very calmly that he said to her, the TikTok girl earlier when she complained the day before that no, he covers up the names, when grading the papers to make sure, first of all, he said he would never actually, why would he, give a preference to a student? And second of all, to make sure that he has no, subliminal bias or anything, he covers up the names. And, the mom says, I don't believe you. I think you're making that up. If you don't change the grade on my daughter's paper right now, you're making a huge mistake. And Mr. Davenport looks at her and is like, kind of savagely, he's like, I guess I'm making a big mistake then. And the TikTok girl's mom is like, oh, have it your way. Grabs the TikTok girl's arm, is like, all right, we're leaving this school. And they just barge out of the classroom. At this point, Benson is sitting there in complete shock because it was strange enough already that the TikTok girl had an outburst in class, but the fact that she brought her mom in to demand a grade change in front of everyone, didn't send an email, didn't go to the administration, didn't schedule a meeting, just burst into class randomly and demanded a grade change is just completely crazy. However, it doesn't end here. Real quick, comment TikTok down below if you want to heart on your comment. It's the secret word of the day. I'm going to be trying to heart as many comments down below that say TikTok. But anyways, right, so at this point, Benson thought that was the last of it. He really thought his mom was going to go in, that the TikTok girl's mom was going to go in there and do kind of like a scare tactic, try to force a better grade out of it. But no, right, one day Benson, or a couple days later, Benson gets into his car and his mom's like, so have you heard the news? And Benson, who's in 5th grade, is like, what? What are you talking about? And she's like, did you hear TikTok girl, says their actual name, but did you hear TikTok girl's mom is gonna file a case against your math teacher in the school? And at this point, right, Benson's like, hey, bro, what? An actual case? Are you serious, dude? And, Benson's mom's like, yeah, I saw it on Facebook. Apparently, it's very official. So anyways, right, it's the school is very weird for the next couple days. In the classroom, there's legitimately a school lawyer present while Mr. Davenport's trying to teach. And Mr. Davenport is not doing a good job teaching because he's under a lot of pressure right now. And sure enough, right, the TikTok girl obviously did not come to class during the whole thing. And it was kind of the talk of the school at the time. Benson and his friends were at the table do you think, she's going to win the case? Do you think the school's going to go under? Do you think Mr. Davenport's going to be, fired or whatever? And, anyways, eventually, one day Benson gets into his car and his mom's like, so, did you hear the news? And Benson kind of looks at her like, dude, I'm in 5th grade. How would I hear any of this except if it's from you? And so Benson's mom goes on to say, so apparently, the case eventually got in front of a judge. And the judge completely rejected it, saying that it's on baseless grounds, and that in fact that they should be lucky that he doesn't fine them for a waste of the court's time and resources. And at this point, right, Benson's like, yo, that's crazy. So they lost the case. And Benson's mom's like, yeah, and it's not only that they lost the case. Apparently, right, the TikTok girl and the TikTok girl's mom was since they made such a public stance and such a firm stance on winning the case, they were so embarrassed by losing the case that the TikTok girl's mom did not only pull the girl out of the school system, the local school system, they full on moved. The house, Benson's mom's like, hey, I'll show you. Because, the TikTok girl didn't live that far away from Benson. They made a pit stop before they went back to the house to see the TikTok girl's house. And there was a for sale sign in the house, in the yard of the house, and there were no cars at the house either. They had fully moved out. And Benson's like, wow, this all could have been avoided if the TikTok girl actually studied, dude. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.